I didn't miss Blockbuster until I was in this Blockbuster. Like, I had moved on, but now just seeing it and being here, I love it. I mean, who doesn't love Blockbuster?
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 2000s kids' rites of passage. For this list, we'll be looking at things we all did almost ritually while growing up in the noughties.
Say we have blonde hair and brown eyes, like if we were one person.
Okay, I love that. Blonde hair, brown eyes. Oh my god, he thinks we're hot.
In which 2000s rites of passage did you routinely engage? Let us know in the comments. Number 10, Club Penguin.
Club Penguin value is in the community.
That's exactly where Club Penguin's life comes from, and it's just that kind of sandbox element of, we give you the tools, now do whatever you want with it.
In the mid-noughties, we would rush home from school, hurriedly finish our homework, and zoom across to our computers to get lost in virtual worlds for hours. For some, that meant checking in on our Neopets and cashing in on those Neo points.
Get in the game right now, only at Neopets.com.
But for many of us, it was to waddle around, play games, and meet other gamers as loyal members of Club Penguin. Remember the excitement of trying to meet a mascot, adopting a Puffle or Pookie, or checking out the monthly catalog to see what would make your penguin look even cooler? We happily wasted many an hour in this virtual reality, and we don't regret a single moment.
The online club lets subscribers take on the identity of a penguin and then waddle and chat in places like the ski hill, coffee shop, disco, or even your own custom-built igloo.
Number 9, renting movies from Blockbuster. Picture it. It's Friday night in the year 2000-something, and you have the whole weekend ahead of you to binge through the latest film releases. There was arguably no more exciting experience than wandering through the shelves at your local Blockbuster and selecting your weekend entertainment.
So many movies. See, this is what I used to do when I'd go to the video rental store, is I would just wander around, especially if you do it with another person, you have to agree on a movie.
And what's a movie night without a few snacks? How about a game or two for when you need a break from watching films? This video rental store defined so much of our childhood, including scouring the shelves for the most popular movies, disappointingly realizing that they've all been rented, or getting home and discovering the wrong VHS or DVD inside the case. Just don't forget to rewind.
The video store is a community hub like any other community hub, like a movie theater, like a rec center. It allows us to connect with each other.
Number 8, covered our arms in rubber bracelets.
We sold, 20 million the first 4 or 5 months, and I think there was over 80 million sold, over the period of time that we were selling it.
In 2004, your coolness levels were determined by the number of rubber bracelets on your wrist. It all began with the Live Strong band, raising money for cancer research and treatment. However, it wasn't long until others jumped on the bandwagon, and our arms were barely visible beneath an array of colorful rubber bands.
When they're all collecting them, the more they can get, they fill their arms. Makes them more popular.
Some promoted important issues, while others advertised commercial companies or featured random words and phrases. Yet we happily wore them, and the more, the better. What started as a charitable awareness symbol soon became that year's must-have trend. We gladly spent our hard-earned pocket money on getting as many as we could. Plenty of celebs also got on board with this trend. Number 7, waited for dial-up.
I'm now waiting for the computer to answer me. It asks with a tone, and then I just flick a switch on the modem and replace the receiver.
You might say there's nothing more frustrating than a slow internet connection. However, play this sound to any noughties kid and they might be able to think of at least one thing that's more annoying. Yes, that sound is like nails on a chalkboard to all of us who remember the days before going online just meant opening your browser or picking up your cell phone. Nothing tested your patience more than waiting for that sound that indicated you'd successfully connected. Let's not forget the heartbreak when it failed and you'd have to start over. But if someone in your house needed to use the phone, you could kiss your internet time goodbye anyway.
Protovision, I have you now.
Number 6, played Snake and other simple games on our phones. Nowadays, you have a plethora of mobile games at your disposal, some of which are pretty intricate. However, nothing quite compares to the endless hours of playing games like Space Impact or Snake 97. They might seem rather primitive by today's standards, but there was something oddly satisfying about directing that snake-like graphic around your screen and watching it get longer and longer. Back then, batteries lasted for days, so you didn't even need to worry about running out of juice mid-game. Of course, you'd hit the cool factor jackpot if you flipped open your brand new Motorola Razr while everyone else was still playing on their Nokia 3310s. Those were the days.
You got several games out of the box, and you could even download new ones.
Number 5, choosing your Windows XP profile picture.
Now I'm going to go back and change it again, but this time I'm going to change it to something, I don't actually want anything there, so I'm going to go and browse for more pictures.
In the 2000s, it was pretty common to have one computer per household, and the only way to keep your stuff separate was by creating individual profiles. Of course, the most crucial part of doing so was choosing the picture that would represent your digital presence. Were you a frog or a fish? Did the snowflake or guy on a skateboard best define you? Perhaps you're more of a flower? Oh, but the peeping cat and rubber duck are just too darn cute. But then again, the palm trees show off your adventurous traveler side. Tough decisions indeed. And all so that you could open your personalized account and spend hours dodging mines on Minesweeper.
Locate all the mines and uncover all the number squares to win the game and become the ultimate Minesweeper.
Number 4, attending a Scholastic Book Fair day.
By the time I saw the huge display and the thick stacks of copies of the first Captain Underpants, I had caught the Captain Underpants bug.
Everyone, from the most avid bookworms to those eagerly awaiting any excuse to ditch class, was united in their excitement for the Scholastic Book Fair. The anticipation began when your teacher handed out that iconic catalog you'd bring home and show your parents to negotiate your book-buying allowance. Of course, there were always the classic titles that, even today, will make any noughties kid's heart skip a beat. However, the buzz we felt walking into the actual fair remains unparalleled. We were overwhelmed by choice and had to decide how to spend our hard negotiated cash carefully. If we had any money left over, we'd complement our purchase with a fun eraser or nifty bookmark.
With the support and motivation of their dedicated teachers, we can already tell the future for these students will be bright.
Number 3, choosing who made your MySpace Top 8.
A feature called Top 8 had everyone from nerds to metalheads indulging their inner mean girl by ranking their best friends and favorite bands on a wonkily shaped grid.
Remember MySpace? You'd design your own page with customizable backdrops, obscure song lyrics, and petulant posts. However, the most vicious activity was deciding who of your friends was worthy of a place among your top 8. The exclusive group wasn't a stagnant concept, and people played around with theirs often.
Messed up in my head that I evaluated all my friendships and put one before the other, and it was this thing. And it was obvious, and I think that's what everyone did.
Of course, this became the breeding ground for feuds, hurt feelings, and ways to passive-aggressively air your real-world arguments. It's like today's equivalent of unfollowing someone. It doesn't achieve much, but you've made your point. We're not proud of it, but many of us participated in this ritual. Perhaps this level of savagery ultimately led to the social media platform's demise.
We go years with being people's friends, and you have no idea where you're at. So if I have MySpace and I put you at 3, you'll work harder to be number 1.
Number 2, creating a cool AIM screen name and away message.
What the F?
I'm sorry, hon, but look, AIM gives other options.
Oh, yeah. Let me see. I'm just gonna do this one.
The D one?
Yeah, it's Viper with a D, 911.
One of our favorite after-school activities was logging on to our preferred instant messaging site and chatting with our friends. However, before we could get into any of that, there were a few admin bits to sort out first. For instance, your screen name. It needed to be cool or funny, and most importantly, available.
So I asked if anyone would share their old screen names and started by revealing my own. Move A Star, like a cow. Yep. CJ picked his name after his Honda Civic Fox EX00.
How many spellings or number combinations did you get through until you found something that worked? The next step was to think of a creative or profound away message to entertain and enlighten your buddies, or perhaps drop hints to your crush. It might sound petty and pointless now, but at least it got our creative juices flowing.
Oh my God.
Who's Dogwigs 2332?
Oh my god, Brendan's online.
Before we unveil our number one pick, here are a few honorable mentions. Playing The Sims, who didn't stay up late building homes and playing God. Covered ourselves in body glitter. Everyone looked like a human mirror ball.
Now you can get a free cool body glitz, especially marked Generation Girl dolls while supplies last.
Counting every character in our text messages. Remember putting periods between words so it would only count as one?
But like any new technology, initial growth for text messaging was slow. The average US user sent 0.4 texts per month back in 1995.
Burning our own mixed CD. Recording and re-recording music to share with friends or crushes was the thing.
Made you this to help soothe your womb.
It's a mix. Even flow, red wine.
Sunday Bloody Sunday?
Downloading LimeWire and Kazaa, the best alternative when our piggy banks couldn't afford all the latest hits. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Clippy, your MS Office assistant.
Sure, XP stands for easier collaboration and increased productivity, but it also stands for X Paperclip.
In the early 2000s, Microsoft thought they'd help users become better acquainted with their programs through an interactive interface assistant, and thus we were introduced to Clipit, better known as Clippy the Paperclip. Only rather than fulfilling his design as a helpful assistant, he became an annoying nuisance on our screens.
Once they're under my control, the entire world will be subject to my whims. Go away, you paperclip! No one likes you!
Still, there's no denying he was pretty cute, and a great distraction while we procrastinated. Clippy wasn't the only character available, but none ever became quite as famous. Despite all our gripes, we were pretty gutted when our paperclip pal was removed from Office 2007. In 2021, Microsoft revived the character as an emoji, reminding us of this love-hate relationship that defined our childhoods.
Yes, there used to be a paperclip that would pop up and say, "Looks like you are writing a letter or resume. Would you like help?" I believe his name was Clippy.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.